teachers, taking only the most dedicated, most cunning, and most perfect students. His blade struck faster than thought, and he moved through a fight as if it were a dance. His sword, jet black with a wolf skull pommel, was sharp enough to carve a warhorse in two. As Eus's war ground to an end, Rekka had 11 followers remaining, rangers and battle mages hardened in this thankless war. He also had a single student, an apprentice as unlike him as iron was to silk, brooding, massive, humorless, a man who no longer had a name. Rekka was charismatic, a cavalier, dapper and sly, cunning and adored. He had taken on this apprentice because the boy looked like he had the devotion to listen and learn. Rekka had taught the boy to fight, to track, to hunt, and above all, to think. They had been companions through many long, silent missions, teacher and student, leader and learner. The apprentice's devotion was based on a strange sense of honor that he cherished deep inside his soul. Rekka despaired of ever teaching the boy proper practicality. Master and apprentice lay in the heather, side by side. Rekka's armor, though bearing scrapes and scratches from many battles, still had a worn flamboyance about it, and his steel helmet was fashioned like a screaming eagle. Next to his master, the apprentice was in gear rugged, tested, and unadorned. Where Rekka was thin and rakishly handsome with amber eyes and golden hair as soft as silk, his apprentice, almost invisible in the weeds beside him, was huge and unappealing. When they'd first met, Rekka had thought the boy too big and too powerful to move in stealth. Yet the human was always somehow silent as a cat. No, not a cat. A bear. Dark, terrifying, and immense. The war had taught the boy failure, hate, and emptiness. He had a stark brilliance with the sword, which Rekka found annoying. No flamboyance, no style, merely a brutal, unforgiving efficiency. Rekka's reputation had been founded on his brilliance, his merciless speed, and his raffish charisma. But in dark times, men looked to tireless, efficient men for comfort. Men like Rekka's apprentice. With the turning of the war, decent targets had become fewer and fewer. The only troops of Eus to be seen were armies in retreat, and the small band of freedom fighters could do little but harry their scouts. But here, all of a sudden, a mistake had been made. A general was bringing troops to build field fortifications. Besides the general, there would be officers and officials, and they were guarded only by shambling, rotting zombies, armed with shovels and stakes. There were no abyssal bats, no demons. A general of Eus would fall, the greatest coup achieved by any band through the entire war. Rekka's reputation would be immortalized. The war was ending, and it was time to look to the future. A new generation would be searching for heroes, for kings. As the hero of the resistance, Rekka's name would ring upon 100,000 tongues. Rekka thought the new attack would be easy, but his apprentice failed to agree. The big human studied the scattered parties of zombies digging ditches and hauling rocks. He looked at the general's tents and the few guards set on hills and ridgelines, and he drew back into cover. Withdraw. His voice was bass, quiet, grim, definite. It's a trap. The elf rolled to look at his apprentice and raised one brow. And we know this. How? It smells wrong. What? Have you become part man, part hellhound? Rekka slid an amused sideways glance at his apprentice. The problem with humans is that they cannot accept being clever. There is a superiority that comes with intelligence and training. I have trained you superbly. Every movement you make is properly honed. Rekka smiled. Remember, evil may have cunning, but it never has wit or style. If the apprentice had been a bear, he would have growled. The big man made to speak, but Rekka had already slithered back down from the ridge to give orders to his men. They collected there under cover.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.